What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Player versus Podcast. My name is Dalton, also known as Esports Center. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Daniel, also known as Rapid Reacts. Today, we're going to cover a lot of the biggest gaming news, such as Valorant coming to console, Microsoft's and Activision's deal is in shambles, we got Honda possibly putting PS5s in their car, and much more. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, I got to tell you a story. So I just got back from Seattle for Thanksgiving, right? And Black Friday, I was lucky enough to get a PS5. First off, I walked into Best Buy at around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I just asked the front desk person, I was like, hey, do you guys have any PS5s? And they're like, yeah, they're on the shelf right there. Literally walked into a Best Buy on Black Friday, not even early in the morning, and got myself a PS5. It was the God of War Ragnarok one. I'm going to give it away. I think it's going to be awesome. Anyways, so we ended up getting the PS5.
Yeah.
But I'm in Seattle, and I don't want to ship this thing back to Arizona. So I'm like, crap, how do I get this back, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to carry it on. I'm going to bring it on the plane. And I was going to pay for my bag to be checked.
Yeah.
And I got a text like 20 minutes before my flight. And they were like, hey, do you want to check your bag for free, like your carry-on? And I was like, heck yeah, works out perfectly. So anyways, roll onto the plane. And I'm like, dude, are they going to make me open up this box for like to go through TSA? Luckily, they didn't. They did not. We're all good there. But I'm walking through the airport. And I get to my gate, and I'm at my gate maybe 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
And I'm just carrying on this PS5. I'm very afraid that somebody's going to steal it from me.
Jeez.
Just do some random stuff. Anyways, so this dad walks up to me, and he goes, is that the PS5? And I was like, yeah. He goes, how much? And I'm like,
Shit.
I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, my son wants one, and I wanted to buy it from you. And I was like, I had no clue what to say. So I was just like, and he goes, I'm just kidding. Like, but is it out? Like, is the PS5 out? And I was like, yeah, it's out. Like, it's in my hand. Like, of course it's out. And I was like, yeah, just go to Best Buy and buy one. Anyway, so
Yeah.
he walks away. And I was like, that was kind of an odd interaction. Like, I wonder how many of those we're going to have this trip. Like, because again, my flight's like 4 hours. So I go walking through the airport and I get some food. And dude, everybody is staring at me. I've got people from the age of probably 4 years old to men that are 50, 55 years old looking at me being like, damn. And I'm just like, yeah, that's probably what a girl feels like with a nice butt, like as they walk by, you know. It was pretty funny. So I bring the PS5 on the plane, and I'm going through, and obviously I'm not in first class, I'm not even in comfort plus, but I'm like in main cabin 1, whatever. So there are already people on the plane, but I'm walking through, and I kid you not, I walk onto the plane, and the flight attendant goes, oh, a PS5, nice. And then I was like, yeah. And then literally walking down the aisle, I had 3 people in first class, but like, a PS5, nice. And just giving me like fist bumps or like high fives. And I was like, dude, what is this? Like people just all of a sudden want to talk to me now that I'm carrying this.
Man's
So
flexing a PS5 on a plane, man.
Apparently, it was like the biggest flex you possibly could have. Like,
Wow.
if you wanna feel special, bring a PS5 or something like that on the plane.
Yeah.
Anyways, put the PS5 up in the carrier, right? And I've been on the plane for maybe 3 minutes at this point. Like, I've been seated, nobody's seen me with it. And I just have people walking by me being like, PS5? Nice. Nice, you got the hottest console like out there right now. It's just,
Dude, it's gold.
yeah, everybody wanted to talk about it. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting off the plane
Yeah.
and like landed in Phoenix. I went to go get my bags, and I had girls just like checking me out, being like, nice.
Big spender.
Yeah, just randomly. And I kid you not, like, it'd be one thing if it was just like that first guy, but it was maybe, I want to say at least 10 people
Yeah.
that like stopped me and said something about the PS5. And I was like, must be nice. Must be nice to like feel this way every time. No, I'm just kidding. But
It's the console is such a meme at this point. The console's been sold out everywhere for so long that people who don't game know about it being out of stock everywhere. Like,
no, absolutely. And that's
You
the thing.
know?
Like, this is bigger than just like, oh, I'm a gamer. That's cool. Like, again, all ages, male and female, like anyone that they were like, oh, like I know what that is. And it was a lot of times like people just giving me props like for having one. And I'm like, thanks. Like,
it's crazy. It's like, it's one of those things that's transcended just gaming, like the Nintendo Wii did when it launched, right? Like, your grandma and grandpa had a fucking Wii. Like, everybody had a Nintendo Wii. Just like everybody knows the PlayStation 5's out of stock. Well, apparently not now because you found one. But like, yeah, I had heard that, and it was a rumor at that point that Sony was stockpiling a bunch of PlayStations to release specifically for Black Friday. So that kind of makes sense a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy it didn't sell out. Like, did you get to the store when it first opened, or was it?
No.
Oh, shit.
Best Buy opened at like 5 a.m. on Black Friday. I got there at 9:30, bro. I walked in, there was no line even. I walked in, grabbed the PS5, checked out, and then they held it up there for me until I finished my shopping.
So, fun fact, because, I work at Target, right? This was the first Black Friday ever where the doors opened and literally 2 people walked through. Nobody camped. There was 2 people at opening. Black Friday's changed, man. Like from companies not being open on Thanksgiving night anymore. Like, thank you, because I hated working Thanksgiving night. Yeah. To the deals being spread out throughout the week or throughout, like Target, we had sales all throughout the month. So there was really like no reason to camp out for Black Friday. So Black Friday could cease to exist as we know it pretty soon.
Bro, Black Friday culture, I was talking about this with my buddies. Black Friday culture has completely changed. First off, the sales are absolutely garbage. I will be very adamant about this because I used to be a big Black Friday shopper. But it used to be you would go to like the mall or any store and the entire store is like 50% off, or you got a massive doorbuster that there's a reason to go. The best sale that you'll see now is like 20% off select styles. Yeah. Or they've had their entire sale catalog out since Monday. What's the point? So...
The Nintendo Switch, which is like every year since it's been out, it's never been discounted for Black Friday. All they did was bundle a game in for free, like Mario Kart, or I don't know what this year is going to be. It might still be Mario Kart. And it's just like, that's all they do. The biggest sales you see now around this time is like the Steam sale with all their games right now, which is like 75, 85, 95% off. It's just wild. That's the biggest discounts you see.
You know what the best deal this holiday season was definitely the Xbox Series S. I think I saw it as low as like $220. Yeah. That's a steal for that console, first off.
It is, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky enough to get the PS5. I'm sure there will be plenty of kids this holiday season that'll be opening up a PS5, because let me tell you, this was the easiest possible time to get a PS5.
Yeah. Do you think the guy that offered to buy the PlayStation was serious even for just a second? Was like...
I think low-key he was. I think low-key he was like, yo, like how much? Like I want to buy it for my son. Yeah. And when I was just like a little taken back, like everybody in the airport, I guarantee was like, oh, that guy got his own PS5. Yeah. I already have a PS5, so it's not like again, I'm giving it away, but I'm not going to go to people and be like, yeah, I'm giving this PS5 away because I have a following, blah, 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 blah. No, like I was just like, yeah, it was a gift, something like that, or it's a gift, whatever it may be. But yeah, I bet you that guy was serious.
So, fun fact, and this huge coincidence, I actually have another PS5 on the way too for a giveaway purposes, because of course I've had one since launch. Might give it away if people subscribe to the YouTube channel. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Still figuring it out, We'll figure it out. We're trying to make this podcast go viral. So if it takes giving away PS5s, we're gonna do it.
Down. But yeah, to wrap it all up, if you ever want to feel like a celebrity, bring a PS5 on your plane. Yeah. And for those that ask for a PS5 for Christmas, this might be your year.
Or as Dalton likes to say, if you want to feel what it's like to be a female with a big butt in public.
If you want to feel like what it's like to be a hot girl, if you're like a guy and you want to feel what it's like to be a hot girl, bring a PS5 on a plane.
Yep. All right, so we're going to do a segment that was really popular and took us by surprise last month. We did November Smasher Pass for the November games coming out. Huge hit on TikTok. Did not expect it. So, of course, we got to run it back again for the December games. So I'm going to name a game. You tell me smash or pass, your reason why, and then flip it back to me, and I'll tell you if it's smash or pass for me. So starting things off, Callisto Protocol.
Look, a lot of people are probably going to like this game. For me personally, it's a pass. There are way too many other games that I'm playing right now, and horror games just aren't my style personally. It's a pass.
Yeah, I feel you. So for me, it's a huge smash, right? This is a spiritual successor to Dead Space. Fun fact, made by the original makers of the original Dead Space games. And about a month from the launch of that game, we're going to get the Dead Space remake. So it's weird that the new game from the original devs, the spiritual successor, is going to go head-to-head pretty much with the remake of their original game. So crazy. But yeah, definitely a smash for me. I cannot wait. I'm a sucker for horror games.
Nice. Next up, Midnight Suns, that single player kind of story card game from Marvel.
It's got a lot of things in the pot there. Yeah. But definitely a smash for me. It is my type of game. I love card games like Hearthstone and all that. It's not like that, but I also like the tactical games like Fire Emblem, Advance Wars, XCOM, this is coming from the makers of XCOM. So for me, this is one that's a smash for me. I'm definitely looking forward to it, but I know why a lot of people aren't, because not everybody's into the whole card game mechanic.
And that's me. I'm not into the whole card game mechanic. It's a pass. I don't think Callisto Protocol or Midnight Suns will last very long, even if people do play it. Again, there's so much competition that we've seen throughout the end of the year. Obviously, God of War is still taking up a lot of people's time. Call of Duty, Warzone, all the good stuff.
Yep. February is going to come around. You got Hogwarts Legacy. You got Resident Evil 4 coming out. So February is going to be a packed month. So we'll see what happens. All right. Next game. Actually, comes out tonight at the time of recording for early access, but technically it releases on December 2nd. Need for Speed Unbound.
This is a smash. I am looking forward to this game. I love the Need for Speed series. A big fan of racing. I mean, I liked Burnout back in the day was my game. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Need for Speed was amazing. I'm not a big fan of like the cartoonish style, like anime effects that they have on there, but you know what? You can turn those off. So again, it's a smash for me.
I was just going to say that you could turn them off. Don't worry, because a lot of people don't know that. They're still asking it online. But smash for me too. Super excited for this. I really hope this is the return to form for Need for Speed, right? I've been out of touch with the franchise probably since, whatever game released after Need for Speed Underground 2. Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Underground 2 are the hallmark for me. Those are the best Need for Speed games, in my opinion. So if they could reach that stature, I hope, man. And I'm actually a fan of the anime effects. I like the unique look to it, but again, it's nice that you could turn that off.
For sure. And the last one, High on Life.
High on Life is a smash for me. That game looks like it's going to be absolutely hilarious and bonkers, from the makers of Rick and Morty. What else can you expect? Definitely a smash. What about you?
It's a smash for me as well. Everybody that has Game Pass, you're getting it day one. That's a W alone, right? You're not going to have to pay anything to be able to play it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to have that comedic relief, not have to take the game too serious. Most of the time, I'm not into single player games, but this is one that I'm actually looking forward to. So again, it's a smash.
Yeah, definitely cannot wait for that.
Villager news.
Let's get to the hottest gaming news of the week. Promise one day we'll have some kind of like special intro there.
Breaking news! An update has swept the realm, changing villager life forever.
All right. So this one, I'm gonna ask you about this because you're the multiplayer guy, specifically Valorant. You're big on Valorant. So Valorant is coming to consoles, and this is according to some, job listings and all that, which usually turn out to be accurate on leaks. So I'm gonna ask you the big question: why are Valorant players so damn upset about this?
Yeah, I think you got both sides. I think, one, you have Valorant PC players, like those that play right now, because they don't want console players. They don't want to have to deal with aim assist. They're hoping crossplay doesn't come. And yes, the game is coming to console, by the way. It's at this point confirmed without Riot saying it's confirmed. The job postings are via Hitmarker, which is the official site that Riot Games uses to be able to like post their jobs. But first, again, you've got the aim assist and whatnot, but also like Riot has never put a game on console. This will be their first attempt at it, and to do it with something that's already like solidified as a pretty solid staple for PC players. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't mind having console players join the game, join the party. That's cool, but I'm worried personally about how the crossover will interact. Yeah, because we already see crazy amounts of sweats and disruption in the community when you put those two together, like in Call of Duty, in Battlefields. Even CSGO tried to be on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and it didn't work out too well. We haven't really seen a tactical shooter other than like Rainbow Six, but even Rainbow Six doesn't have crossplay between PC and console. So I'm hoping they keep them separate. I'd be totally down for that. I think that if they do keep them separate, it may be a little bit harder to field enough lobbies. Yeah. Because console players aren't used to that style of gameplay. But yeah, I am very optimistic though. I hope Riot does it well.
Yeah, Riot releases the bangers, but you're right. They've never released the game on console. How are they going to do it? Like, they have the advantage of seeing how everybody else did it and what people didn't like you mentioned, aim assist and, the crossplay and all that stuff and how that's gone crazy for the Call of Duty world. So they got the benefit of knowing that stuff might not work for this game, but the fact that it's a tactical shooter, like CSGO is a great example, did not work. Like, this game, you have to be super, super precise, right? I don't play it, but from the outside looking in, I've seen it. It's super competitive. You got to be super precise with your aim. If you put aim assist in it, it kind of ruins the magic, right? Like, the whole point of the game is to be super precise. But then, like, if you don't put aim assist, it's not going to be fun for a lot of people. So that's going to be an interesting hurdle for them to tackle with that game.
For sure.
And, we'll see. And maybe if it is successful, that might lead to League of Legends coming to console one day.
I could definitely see it. I'm surprised that League wasn't the first game because it seems like it may have been a little bit easier to be able to put on there.
Yeah.
But Valorant's probably their fastest growing game right now. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out. It's free to play. Why not? Like, that's the big benefit they have is like, it's free to play. Just try it. If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah.
So what do you think needs to be in the console version to make it successful?
To be able to make the Valorant version on console successful, again, you need to separate PC and Xbox, PlayStation players. That's definitely first and foremost. I don't think you can have crossplay with this game. Also, I think you need to add a little bit more of a arcade style game mode. You got deathmatch in there. You've got games like Replication and like a casual mode. The competitive is really where it's at. But I don't know how they're going to be able to keep aim assist in the game or even not have aim assist because, like you said before, the way that you are very precise with gunplay is what makes this game special.
Yeah.
It's the difference of literally millimeters between a kill or you're dead. You know what I mean? So being able to do that with controller is a little bit difficult. But again, I think the biggest thing that sets it apart, it can have crossplay.
Yeah. And definitely agree. Now, we touched on this before, but can you, because we were specifically talking about League, but can you see other Riot games making their way to console?
Riot is very good at what they do, and they won't put out a product unless it's completely finished, which I 100% respect and appreciate, and I've enjoyed their games. I think that if Valorant does well, we will see League on console at some point. Yeah. We've already seen a collaboration between Riot Games and Xbox Game Pass. So my guess is when Valorant does come out, Xbox players will see some exclusive content similar to how like PlayStation sees exclusive content for Call of Duty. Yeah. But I could see Riot making more of a push in the console space. Absolutely.
What's funny to me is that they have that fighting game they're working on, right? That's going to be like their first fighting game. That one actually, out of all their games, makes the most sense to come to console. They should have experimented with that one first, just launching it day and date on PC and console. Because when you think of fighting games, you think of consoles anyway. You don't really think of PC. But maybe this is their way to like figure out the console architecture and stuff before that next big release for them. So I guess it can make sense that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're with their fighting game, they're up against some big names. Yeah. Obviously, you got Street Fighter, you got Tekken, you've got Super Smash Bros. Obviously, those are different style of fighting games, but still, like those are fighting games that they're gonna have to compete with. So just putting that on PC is gonna be tough. So I totally agree. I think that this could be the first step into console, so that way future games can do it more naturally. This last week we've had a massive leak, and this comes from our Xbox Activision. Not necessarily lawsuit, but some details have revealed about major games and future consoles that I would love to get your opinion on.
Cool, for sure.
Okay, so first off, out of this leak, GTA 6 is set to release, according to Microsoft, in 2024. Now, GTA 5 released in 2012, so that is 12 years after GTA 5. What are your thoughts?
That's wild, right? I mean, we get why it's kind of been so long because you had Red Dead in between, and then you had GTA Online just being this monstrous success. And the game has been on like the top of MPD charts every single month for like years now at this point. So I get why they didn't rush to make a sequel, but damn, 12 years is way too long, man. That's like crazy. And I know people are gonna in the comments are gonna say like 12 years and that's what it looked like, you know, referring to the GTA 6 leaks, but they don't realize like graphics are the last thing to be done on a game. Like that's how game design works. They get everything in there, everything inside the bucket, and then you purdy it up at the end and put a bow on it. Like you don't realize that. So I know this game is going to look incredible when it comes out because it coming in 2024 means it's for sure going to be next gen only in PC. It's not coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Sorry for those holding out hope on that, but with that game coming out at that point, hopefully at that point PS5s and Xbox Series X's are everywhere, so it won't be an issue for people, you know, unless it's a money thing. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's time. Like this game just needs to come out, and if all the rumors are true about a new city being added every year and but just all the craziness we've heard about this game, I am so hyped for it. My most anticipated game for sure.
I'm 100% with you. And I think in a way that this might be strategic. And it's exactly because of next gen, or at this point, current gen consoles. Yeah. I believe in 2024 that PlayStation is going to stop supporting the PS4. I believe that's the year.
I think that'll happen next year, honestly, because Spider-Man 2 is not going to be on PS4.
Well, I think I'd have to go back and check, but Sony said that they'll support the PS4 4 years after the PS5 releases.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that, but I think they're being like, certain games are being super picky about. Now they could pivot because I swear to God, God of War Ragnarok was supposed to be next gen only. And then like as of a few months before release, they were like, oh no, it's going to PS4 too. What are you talking about? Like nothing ever happened. They could do the same thing for Spider-Man 2. They could say, hey, no, it's going to PS4. We never said it was exclusive, even though they did. They're on record saying it was only on PS5. So we'll see what happens there. But
I mean, the God of War makes sense because I don't think there were enough people yet to have a PS5 to justify. I think after this holiday season, you will see a lot more people with the PS5. So they can kind of justify saying, hey, we don't need to keep it on PS4. Also, some really exciting numbers. 30.5 million consoles expected to be made next year for the PS5. So if you didn't get one this year, next year is definitely your year.
Yeah, everything's starting to ramp up again. So super excited to see other people finally get a PS5 and experience it. And it makes sense to make Spider-Man 2 that first game like, no, sorry, you're going to have to get a PS5 for this one because that's everybody's most anticipated game right now for PlayStation. So
I would agree. And speaking of PlayStation 5, the length of the generation is rumored to end around 2028, according to that leak that we got this week.
And they said at least, so it could come out later.
Yeah.
Now, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, or was it 360 and PS3? One of those generations was extremely long, kind of like this. It's like 7 or 8 years. I want to say it's PS3, Xbox 360. So we're kind of used to long generations. What gets me here is that prior to this generation, prior to COVID especially, they said that console generations won't be as long anymore. They're looking at like 4 to 5 years. That's what I remember seeing somewhere, right? COVID hit, people couldn't get these consoles. Now that naturally extended it, right? Because last thing you want Sony to do, or even Xbox, is to release a new console in like 2024, 2025, when you're finally going to be able to get it maybe next year, right? So you have 2 years to enjoy this console that you're already like 3 years behind on because you couldn't find one. It's kind of fucked up. But like now, the way it is now, if it comes out in 2028, that means you could get one next year and have 5 years to enjoy it, which is like a typical console length. That's what generations used to be, was 5 years. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I do see why. I think that we're obviously going to see a pro model of the PS5, right? Yeah. And we'll likely see an upgraded version of the Xbox Series X at some point. Those are half generational leaps. So I'm assuming around probably 2024 when GTA 6 gets released, that we'll also see that half generational leap. So again, that leaves you about 2 years with the half generation. So, I mean, the timeline checks out. Yeah. I guess for me, the biggest thing is like, what are they going to call the new Xbox?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Like
Xbox 720.
So I know I'm rooting for it. Sony has like such simple naming conventions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know the next one's gonna be 6, right? Xbox is like where you get into a whole thing of like, oh my god, right? Maybe they want to channel the greatness of the Xbox 360 and really call the next one the 720, right? I don't know what they're gonna name it. then there's people saying it could be the Series Z. You know, like, who knows anymore, man?
If Microsoft has taught us anything, they're not going to continue with the previous name.
Yeah.
It just Xbox Original, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series. The next one's going to be like Xbox Scarlet.
Yeah. And like, they're learning from the mistake that Nintendo made, right? Because remember, they did the Wii, then they did the Wii U, and that was catastrophic. Besides, like, the lack of games for that console, that was catastrophic because you had a lot of moms and dads, grandpas and grandpas think the Wii U was just some like modified Wii or something. They didn't know this was the next Nintendo console, right? So I get why Xbox doesn't do that. And if you do that, if you do keep kind of the same name, it has to be like PlayStation's example, where you change the number at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple and easy to follow. So I don't know what they're going to name it.
I had somebody ask me on the plane. This is something I forgot to include, but I had somebody ask me if I had gotten the Xbox Series 5. Microsoft, it's not that hard. Can we just pick a system and stick with it? Again, make it easy. Again, I wasn't carrying an Xbox. It was a PlayStation, but still. I just find it funny that people are that confused.
It's crazy, man. When they did the series naming, like the Series S and the Series X or whatever, I thought they were like, maybe they're just going to go with that from now on. So like the next one would be like the Series Z, or maybe the mid console refresh would be the Series R, right? Or something like that. Who knows? Okay. But it just wouldn't make sense to name the next Xbox a series, right? It would confuse it a little bit. People would think it's still the same generation. It's not the next major console from Xbox.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, to wrap up what we were just talking about, though, the length of the generation is long, but I think it's worth it. I think, again, COVID has pushed everybody's timeline of getting the console to about 2023. I think by end of next year, I don't think you'll be seeing just about anyone on the older generations.
Yeah. So we're basically like the people who got in early. We were like beta testers for these consoles, because now they're really getting like the best version of the console and this crazy lineup of games right from the jump. Like a lot of people are gonna be first time owners next year for both Xbox and PlayStation. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Xbox, the Activision deal is in shambles.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Because we had just talked about Phil going on that podcast, not only about the Call of Duty stuff, about Call of Duty will continue shipping on PlayStation consoles, which now we've heard the opposite. We'll get into that in a second. That's the last breaking news story. But he also said that like he feels confident about the deal going through. Phil Spencer, what is going on? Every article I see, this deal is falling apart. But on the podcast, you said you feel confident about it going through and you have no worries. So I don't know what to bbehave.
Bro, what do you expect him to be like? Oh, I'm worried that this isn't going to go through. Of course, he's going to say that.
Yeah, true.
Personally, I'm not as worried as a lot of other people. Hearing that, the UK has gone through extensive research on it, and now the FTC wants to block the trade. I believe that's who it is. Yeah. Anyways, the fact that all that is going down kind of worries me, but at the same time, the amount of money that Microsoft has. Yeah. Also, Microsoft came out and said that they're doing this Activision Blizzard deal to acquire mobile games. Yeah. So they want to acquire things like Candy Crush, Call of Duty Mobile, Warzone Mobile. I'm assuming at some point we could even see Overwatch Mobile. We saw Diablo Immortal, things like that. They want to push more into that mobile space, which is fine. It's cool, but that's a lie. Yeah. Like, I don't believe that that's why Xbox wants to buy it. And they're going to do everything they possibly can and say this way or that way. So that way it's not in the direction of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't sell this to you, or maybe this shouldn't go through. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all like just marketing speak. And we'll touch on it again in a second. But first, for those who don't know, Dalton here, Esports Center, used to work at Tesla. And we got a very interesting story, kind of Tesla related, but basically Honda is entering the EV market with consoles that are going to have PS5s built in. They have this partnership with Sony. They want to put PS5s and other Sony services in their cars. Would that be enough to overtake Tesla for you? Absolutely not. I have a PS5 at home. I don't see a need in putting a PS5 in Honda. It's cool. It's a cool marketing scheme. Sure, you might get a few sales off of it. It's creative. Yeah. But Tesla, I could go on about Tesla for a while, about why I think that holds its own category at this point.
Yeah.
Every company under the sun is working or put out an EV this year.
Yeah.
So for Honda to separate themselves from the rest of the regular pack, yeah, absolutely. They'll definitely take some market share because they can say they have a PS5 in their car.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for those charging lapses. But people don't buy Teslas because it's got a powerful computer that can play games. That's just a perk. I mean, but then you also got Elon, who's crazy enough to add things like Cyberpunk or The Witcher 3 to Tesla. So again, it's not like they're even limited within the Tesla. I don't know. I don't see Honda taking much market share from Tesla just because they have a PS5.
Fun fact, Elon is a huge Elden Ring fan. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Elden Ring make its way to Tesla too. He
thinks that's game of the year, by the way.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. If you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, Elon, just throwing it out there. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I don't know if you probably feel the same way. Tesla, and I know I'm biased because I own one. Tesla to me feels like the Apple of cars, and everything else feels like Android to me.
Yeah.
Like I see these other cars, I see these other EVs, their interiors, the software they have, and I'm just like, oof, right? It's like when you equate it to phones, right? You got Apple, which can't run emulators and stuff like that because you could only get apps that are on the App Store. And then you have Android, which is like fully open. You can do whatever you want. You can put a Super Nintendo in there. You can put a Game Boy in there. Anything you want, right? Apple still, at least in the States, Apple still sells a boatload more. So it's not all about like what the thing can do. It's a lot about the brand, right? Yeah. And it's like, yeah, cool. You got a PS5 in there, but I'll be playing Elden Ring in my Tesla. So, you know.
I think also the thing with the PS5 that I'm like thinking about now is what happens when the car is 8 to 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The PS5, by the time that they're I think it's 2025, they said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time that they put the PS5 in there, it's 2025. The console's been around for 5 years. Will last another 3 based off of the market estimate.
Yeah. And there'll probably be, like you said, a mid-gen refresh, a Pro out, but they're going to put the basic one in there. And then are they going to let you swap it out with the PS6 when it comes out? I doubt it. You're going to have to get a new car for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, if they can't get you with maintenance, they're going to get you with the console.
Yeah. But here's another question I have for you, right? And you know, stock is going to get a lot better, as we talked about earlier, but like, do you think this would make PS5s even harder to find if they're going in every single Honda EV?
No, it'll be 2025 and nobody will care about a PS5 at that time.
Yeah.
It's like a PS4 a couple of years ago where it's like, you have one or you don't. At this point, you're 5 years into the console generation. You've made up your mind.
Yeah. This is like one of those things that like, if it happened this year, people would be furious because like you can't find a PS5 and they're putting it in Honda EVs that nobody wants. It's like, oh, come on, man.
I think the smartest play would have been in 2020.
Yeah.
Same year that the console releases, you put a PS5 in your car, you're going to have way more sales just by the amount of kids that are begging their parents to buy this car.
Yeah. So last question for you on this subject. Me and you both agree they don't need Tesla does not need to react to this. They're fine. They're going to be okay. But if they choose to, because Elon he's a competitive guy, he'll compete even though he doesn't need to, right? How do you think Tesla would react to this? Like if you're Elon Musk, what would you put in the car to like kind of counter this besides Elden Ring, which we just talked about?
I think Elon doesn't care. I mean, at the end of the day, like it's a cool marketing tactic, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
But you know what? The cool thing about Tesla is they can continue to push out updates that'll just add more to their car versus a PS5 system console. Not sure if it'll have a disk drive or how that's going to work, but like you're relying on Sony to push things or the user to buy things versus like Tesla just gives you that automatically for free. The entire game catalog. So
if I'm Elon, here's what I do. Just because I'm petty. I don't need to, but it's fine. Ring, ring. Hey, Gabe Newell, how much you want for Steam and all my Tesla cars? That's it. That's it. You get Steam with that whole library? Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
And there's PlayStation games on Steam now. You can get Spider-Man, God of War.
Yes.
Right? That's all he needs to do. How much you want for Steam in my Tesla cars? Done.
Simple rev split. I mean, Steam is all about their marketplace now, so it's not like they're making games anymore.
Yep. Because we know he's a PC gamer, so he's not going to react and go put Xboxes in this, right? He's going to go bigger. He's going to think bigger, and he's going to get Steam.
I bet you we see somebody like, I'm surprised Toyota wasn't the one that partnered with PlayStation, because they're both like
Japanese
Asian companies,
Japanese companies, right?
Yeah.
Is Honda Japanese too, or is it Chinese? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, Toyota would have made sense too. Put that in some Supras. Oh,
yeah,
I love the Supra. That car I love.
See Microsoft partnering with like Ford in a weird way,
or Chevy. Yeah,
or Chevy.
One of the major American.
Put in like the new Ford truck.
Yeah,
like the EV.
Yep. And Chevy's been doing the EV also for a while now with the Volt, I think it is. So Chevy makes
a horrible car.
Yeah. Terrible car. That's why I said, man, I feel like everybody else is Android and like Tesla's just Apple, but I am biased. I have a Model 3, lovely Model 3 downstairs. So
hey, yo.
Go get yours soon.
Yes.
All right. So I'll read this one for you. So last story, touching back on the Phil Spencer Xbox Call of Duty madness, right? Remember he said on the podcast, and we talked on another podcast, and we talked about it, that as long as PlayStation consoles ship out, there will be a Call of Duty shipping on PlayStation consoles, something along those lines, right? Yeah. Well, now we hear that there was a deal offered for only 10 years. We don't know details or specifics unless you do, but 10 years. So that's not, there's going to be PlayStations beyond 10 years, right? So that's not exactly what he said in his little quote. So is Phil Spencer the LeBron James of the gaming world?
Whoa. No. Okay, I saw this in a lot of my comments, but a 10-year contract is very appropriate. I think that, look, when two major companies partner up, I'm going to take maybe a game like, I don't know, what's a major game right now other than Call of Duty? Fortnite. Fortnite signs contracts with Sony and with Microsoft saying the game will be on here for this long. Yeah. It's not, most of the time those contracts are not indefinite forever. So they also have term lengths. So again, this does not mean it's 10 years and stop. Like this is like, hey, you have 3 years left on your deal. You're not satisfied with that. We are happy to extend 10 years out there. Again, what more as a PlayStation player do you want even as PlayStation, what more do they want?
Yeah.
I don't see this being a bad thing. If anything, it's a very good thing and a deal that they should probably accept.
But like what people don't realize too, and like it would be a dumb business move, but even if Activision wasn't bought out, at any second they could just decide, yeah, we're gonna stop selling Call of Duty on PlayStation. They could have made that choice too, right? There's no rule there that states you have to release your games on PlayStation also, right? It's all contracts. And the thing about contracts is when they end, that doesn't mean it's over forever. You just re-up. So like once that 10 years is up, all right, Sony, let's come to the table. Another 10 years. What do you want to do? And then negotiate. That's how it works. Right?
Yeah. So you think that Sony should take the deal?
I gotta know specifics. Like, is he charging an arm and a leg? Or is it like what in line with what Activision would charge? Like, that's the thing. And there was no details there, like whether Sony was thinking about it or whether they said yes or no, or maybe like we don't know anything else beyond there's a 10-year deal offered. So, if I'm Sony, of course I got to take it unless, again, they're charging so much. It's kind of like, maybe that explains why they're fighting for this deal to like, not go through so much.
We talked about this before, but Sony is really worried about, Sony is really worried about Call of Duty going to Game Pass, not about Microsoft having access to make Call of Duty decisions, because they will keep it on PlayStation. And again, I think that this is kind of like playing into like Sony's bluff of being like, hey, this is what we're worried about. And it's like, oh, really? Then we'll solve that problem right now. Yeah.
Like there's
they don't want to say that they're worried about, oh, we don't want the game to be going to Game Pass. We've been restricting them the whole time from going to Game Pass because it makes Sony look like the bad guy.
Yeah. This whole thing is wild, and like Sony, for whatever reason, like we don't know the details, have like done everything in their power to cock block this deal from day one, right? And like you said, it might not necessarily be like Call of Duty being exclusively on Xbox. It might not be exclusive, but if it goes on Game Pass and it's free day one, Sony's gonna take a hit there. You know what I mean? So they're gonna take a hit regardless if it's completely exclusive or if it's like Game Pass, you know, it's on Game Pass day one. They're gonna take a hit. It's crazy, man.
100%.
So yeah, what was it? It was only like 3 years left, right, on the current contract. So
yeah, that's what it. Okay, so it's I think it's 3 games left.
3 games left,
which I guess in like a Call of Duty cycle is 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're extending that, you're 13 years in, which puts you at 2035, right?
Yeah. And thing is too is
a long time.
You could say like before, oh, you know, you got a 10-year contract that's 10 Call of Duty games. Not anymore. Apparently from what we're seeing, like Xbox is going to take a break from the annual releases in order to give these games more time to develop and be even better. So I don't know if that is going to count the expansions. Like next year's is rumored to be like a Modern Warfare 2 expansion. So I don't know. Hopefully somebody out there could get in the nitty gritties of like all these contracts and figure this stuff out, because a lot of it is still a mystery, you know?
Yeah. I would love to be able to see the contracts. I would love to see how much Microsoft is saying, hey, we want this cut, or this is what it's going to look like over your 10-year contract. But again, I think if they're asking the same or around the same amount as Activision is now, extending them 10 years, again, is calling Sony's bluff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know me, I'm primarily a Sony guy. I play PlayStation, like that's my thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for the Xbox deal, and I wanted to go through, but it's not for anything that has to do with Call of Duty. It's for all those old classic franchises to get revived. It's for studios who have been thrown in to just be Call of Duty support studios to get pulled away from that and make their own games. Like that's the exciting part for me, why I want this deal to go through. But I understand why Call of Duty is such a big hurdle in this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of Call of Duty, this is kind of breaking news at the time of the recording here. Apparently Ralph's Valve, he's like super, knowledgeable about this stuff, always accurate most of the time, I think. There's going to be a spin-off campaign focused primarily on Ghost, who we've seen all throughout Twitter and TikTok. He's become a meme, you know it. When he's in the car looking up and down at the guy, you've seen it everywhere. Apparently that was enough to get him his own damn game, or are we just going to call it Call of Duty Ghost 2 at this point?
And that'd be Modern Warfare 2 Remake 2.
Yeah. It's just wild, man. And people are like, Inside Gaming, Tom Henderson has said that this will probably most likely be the campaign for that Modern Warfare 2 expansion next year. And I think so too. It makes sense. And like Ghost has just become so popular. It makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it makes sense. I think it's cool, but I'm not going to be spending $70 on that. I don't know how many like copies they're going to actually sell, because it'll be very interesting to see how they handle people who have already bought the game versus those who didn't buy this year's game. You know what I mean? Because if I'm spending $140 to get this year's game and next year's campaign and expansion for multiplayer, hell no.
It's crazy is you're hearing in the rumors, and this might just be like damage control from Activision, that this is supposed to be enough content to be a full-length game, right? Why not just call it Modern Warfare 3 then, and get away from this expansion fiasco shit? Like, just call it. You know what I mean? Even if it's missing a few modes or something, call it Modern Warfare 3 so people don't feel like they're getting ripped off.
At this point, like they took Black Ops 4, which was just multiplayer, no campaign, and what will likely be Modern Warfare 2 Remake 2, obviously a very long name, but they're taking that game and doing campaign, no multiplayer. So stick those 2 games together and you got a full game, but obviously years apart.
Yeah. Oh, so that makes sense. So they're just gonna like keep the multiplayer going from Modern Warfare 2 into that one, so they don't have to build the new multiplayer for that. It's just going to be a new campaign.
Let's be honest. People really only play the multiplayer for a few weeks now, maybe grind to level up some guns, and then they go off to play Warzone. So if you re-release your game and just add some more content. I don't see people going back to play multiplayer. There aren't enough single player / campaign enthusiasts, I think, to be able to fund another title, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting move. I agree. I think it should be Modern Warfare 3.
You know me, I'm more of a campaign guy. So I would be excited for this, but most Call of Duty players don't even touch the campaign, right? I don't know the number on the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people pop in the disc or download the game and just jump straight into PvP. Like this, there's a reason that they tried to go just multiplayer only for Black Ops 4, right? Besides just, trying to make even more money, the campaign was kind of dying in multiplayer games. Remember Titanfall 1 didn't have it. There was a couple other shooters that didn't have campaigns, but thankfully everybody has pivoted back to adding campaigns in their games because that was a phase I did not like. Single players and campaigns can be successful video game industry. Look at God of War Ragnarok and the numbers it's getting right now.
Yeah, but that's a dedicated single player game versus Call of Duty is a dedicated multiplayer game.
Yeah. But I feel like the campaign is only additive. It's like, cool, you got the multiplayer you love every year and you got this dope ass campaign to go with it. Because usually Call of Duty campaigns, for the most part, are hit more than miss. So, I only play a lot of Call of Duty games because of the campaigns. Are
you buying a Call of Duty though for the campaign?
No, probably not. Unless you got enough money to do so. It's like.
But even then, $70 seems very extreme for just the campaign. It better be hours of a campaign at that point.
For me, it was like, man, I bought the game and I was like, I played the campaign, and I'm like, shit, not a lot of value there. But then you convinced me to go play multiplayer with you, and I actually had a good time. I had a good time. So now I'm down to play multiplayer. So there's people like that too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Also, it's rumored to be developed by Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Isn't that the studio that just had a bunch of issues?
Everybody left. Vanguard, which was a horrible, horrible game.
That's because everybody left. So, fun fact again, the guys who were heading up Sledgehammer were the original makers of Dead Space, and they left Sledgehammer to go make Callisto Protocol. See, it all ties together in a full circle, everybody. It's how a podcast works.
There we go. Again, Callisto Protocol is a pass, though.
Oh, God. All right. If you have one final story?
Yeah, no, it's not even a story. It's a segment.
Okay.
We're going to play Guess That Video Game. You have 20 questions to guess the game that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Okay, I got my game.
But then don't go too far back because...
I'm not going to. It's okay.
Okay. Is this a game that released in the 2010s?
Yes.
Is this on the current generation of consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S?
Yes.
Is this a multiplayer game?
Yes.
Is this a first-person shooter?
No.
Is this a third-person shooter?
Yes.
Does this game have frequent collaborations with anime and Marvel, Star Wars, and DC? And other stuff?
No.
Okay, Fortnite's out of the picture. Is this a battle royale?
Yes.
Interesting. Is this considered a dead battle royale?
No, this isn't. Based off of the amount of players, no.
Okay. It's like a realistic shooter.
Like a modern day shooter?
Yeah, like a modern day shooter. Basically a not Fortnite or something goofy, like fantastical.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. I think I know what it is, but I want to narrow it down even more just for dramatic effect. Was this one of the games that made Twitch streamer Shroud very famous?
Yes, at this point, just guess.
Is this PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
Yes, it's PUBG. Nice. Took you 10 questions, though.
All right, I got a game.
Is this game free to play?
No.
Does this game have multiplayer?
Yes.
Is this game a franchise?
Yes.
Is it GTA?
No, you don't want to guess it.
Is it GTA?
No, not GTA.
Is it on PS5?
No.
Is it on Xbox?
Yes.
So it's an Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
Is it a first-person shooter?
Yep.
Is it Halo?
Yes, but which one?
What?
You have to guess which one it is.
Is it the best Halo in the series?
Which one would you consider the best one in the series?
It's a yes or no question. Is it the best Halo in the series? Is it your best Halo in the series?
I'm not a big Halo guy. So to a lot of people, to vast majority of people, this is the best Halo game.
Is it Halo Reach?
No.
Is it Halo 3?
Nope.
What do you mean it's the best? Is
To
it
a lot
Halo
of people-
2?
Yeah. Yes. To a lot of people, that's the best one.
I'll take Halo Reach and Halo 3 over Halo 2.
Comment down below, what's the best Halo game?
Halo 3 is number 1. But I guess Reach first because that's one I assumed you would go with.
I guess Halo 2 is just the best one for the boomers like me. If I played Halo a lot, I probably would have said Halo 2 also.
I'm going to get one of these where like off the second question, I'm going to get it right. You just watch.
I knew PUBG like a couple questions in.
Bro,
like
you should have just guessed it.
I know when I said before I even asked if it was a battle royale, I kind of figured it was PUBG. But like
the third person kind of gave it away.
If you like the podcast and you want to see more, be sure to drop a like, smash that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. Thank you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.